Moving on now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday that Israel is keeping up its war in Gaza but is also preparing for scenarios in other areas.
Well, Israel has been bracing for a possible Iranian retaliation for the killing of a senior Iranian general and 6 officers in a strike on the Iranian Embassy compound in Damascus in Syria on the 1st of April. Now, Netanyahu said, and I'm going to quote him here, "Whoever harms us, we will harm them back. We are prepared to meet all of the security needs of the state of Israel, both defensively and offensively." Israel Chief Military Spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said that civilians were not being told to make any special preparations, but he added that Tel Aviv was highly prepared for a range of scenarios. Yoav Gallant told US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin a direct Iranian attack will require an appropriate Israeli response.
Now, Iran's UN mission said the imperative to punish the rogue regime might have been avoided had Security Council condemned the strike and brought perpetrators to justice. Earlier, an Iranian news agency published an Arabic report on the X platform saying the airspace over Tehran had been closed for military drills. But it then removed the report and denied it had issued such news. As per reports, Israeli Air Force held drills simulating strikes on Iranian soil.
The US, Russia, Germany and Britain urged countries in West Asia to show restraint. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock called on her Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir Abdullahian to urge maximum restraint to avoid further escalation. The German airline Lufthansa, one of only 2 Western carriers still flying to Tehran, extended a suspension of its flights to the Iranian capital. Russia's foreign ministry told citizens they should not travel to West Asia, especially to Israel, Lebanon and the Palestinian territories, of course. British Foreign Minister David Cameron said on Thursday he had made clear to Amir Abdullahian that Iran should not draw West Asia into a wider conflict. US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said that Secretary of State Anthony Blinken called counterparts, including the Turkish, Chinese and Saudi foreign ministers, citing sources. Reports suggest that Tehran has signaled to the US that it will respond to Israel's attack on the Iranian embassy in Syria in a way that aims to avoid major escalation, and it will not act hastily.
So obviously we don't want this conflict to spread. We've been very clear about that. And we've been very clear that to Iran that we're not involved in the Damascus strike, right? We've been also very clear. I'm not going to get into public back and forth. We communicated to Iran that the U.S. had no involvement in the strike, as I just mentioned, that happened in Damascus. And we warned Iran not to use this attack as a pretext to escalate further in the region or attack U.S. facilities or personnel.
Now, United States said that it had restricted its employees in Israel and their family members from personal travel outside the greater Tel Aviv, Jerusalem and Beersheba areas. The fighting in Gaza, now in its 7th month, has overshadowed the increasingly tense situation further north.
Israeli troops have engaged in daily exchanges of fire with Hezbollah militia fighters across the border in Lebanon. Now, on Thursday, the military said that Israeli jets hit Hezbollah military targets in the areas of Mes al-Jabal, Yarin and Qiyam. They also targeted a Hezbollah observation post in the area of Marwahin and another compound in Al-Daira in southern Lebanon. The Iranian-backed militias thought to have a large arsenal of missiles.
It has long been considered to be one of the most likely forces that Tehran could use against Israel, but so far both sides have held back from a full-scale confrontation.
Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and his group said that his group Hamas is still seeking a deal for a ceasefire and hostage release after an Israeli strike killed 3 of his sons in Gaza. Speaking in Qatar while receiving condolences, Haniyeh said the interests of the Palestinian people are placed above everything. He told news agencies that we are seeking to reach a deal, but the occupation is still procrastinating and evading a response to the demands.